interpretation of neutral good is that it is the alignment for most normal or real people. They don't always follow the law, but they see the importance of it, and they're generally moral people. Is this the correct interpretation of the alignment? Well, I won't say just yet, but I will remind you that this interpretation is based off of law versus chaos being literal lawfulness versus anarchy, as opposed to our defined principled versus unprincipled. Likewise, in this case, good versus evil is based on a subjective definition, as opposed to our selflessness versus selfishness. What we're discussing today is what it means to be an ambiguously principled, selfless character, which admittedly can be a bit hard to pin down. So let's go ahead and take a look at today's examples and see if they shed any light on the alignment for us. Our first example has led a hard life. His mother died giving birth to him, his entire family has blamed him all his life for it, and he was born a dwarf, a status that his culture views as an inherent form of corruption, both physical and moral. Our first example is Tyrion Lannister of the Game of Thrones franchise. To clarify, as I always do when I speak of a Song of Ice and Fire characters, I have only seen the television series. I have not read the books, so consider this analysis to be of the Tyrion of the HBO series. You've been warned. Because of his harsh upbringing, Tyrion is a very empathetic person. He sees the plight of others and is especially sympathetic towards outcasts. His natural reaction towards such people is to help them, as can be seen with his gift to Bran Stark and his kindness towards Sansa Stark, as well as a streak for falling in love with prostitutes. Tyrion is rarely cruel and ascribes to a live-let-live lifestyle. It takes a great deal to push him to the point where he would ever consider hurting someone else. Without a doubt, Tyrion is good. He thinks of the needs of others and will even stick his already bullseyed neck out to help them. But how is he neutral? Many of you would point out that Tyrion plays the games of statecraft, just like everyone else. He even turns down the chance at a safer, happier life to continue such activities. Certainly that means he believes in them. I wouldn't say so. In addition to his charm and empathy, one of Tyrion's primary characteristics is his intelligence. Being physically disadvantaged to those who would otherwise do him harm, he had to develop a keen intellect in order to compensate. When Tyrion turns down Shae's offer to flee Westeros, he says that he's good at the game and that he likes it, that outthinking and outplaying the bad people is what he likes most in this world. It gives him a sense of self-worth. Tyrion recognizes the uses of the system. It is a tool for him to do good deeds because it pisses off those who abuse their power. Beyond this, his principles are very vague. The closest thing to a principle he has is a Lannister always repays his debts. But even this should be taken with a grain of salt, as more often than not, he uses the family motto as an excuse to do good or as a tool for survival. With no clear principles and being predominantly a good person, Tyrion is a neutral good character. What about our unexpected example? What could she tell us about the alignment? Our unexpected example was an ambitious woman, being an officer on board a spaceship when circumstances and conspiracy forced her to become a survivor. Our second example is the former second officer of the Nostromo, Ellen Ripley from the Alien series. Wait, you say. Did you even watch Alien? She refused to let crewmates back on board who needed medical attention because of a Wayland-Yutani procedure. Clearly she's lawful. Once again, I must remind you that being lawful has nothing to do with following the law. She made that unpopular command decision because she believed that the rest of the crew would be in danger if they brought an alien organism on board. She was right, by the way. Further, not 20 minutes later, she questions Captain Dallas for making his own procedure-based decision. That may sound hypocritical, because it was, but it shows that she made that decision with survival in mind. The important thing to remember about these movies is that when confronted with the ultimate predator, Ripley became the ultimate survivor. Pun intended. Now, don't get the wrong idea. Ripley is not solely concerned with her own survival. No, she would be the best possible person to end up with during a zombie or xenomorph apocalypse. Continually throughout the series, she puts herself in danger to rescue others. She is unquestionably selfless, and my proof comes from two characters. First, everybody remembers Newt, the little girl from Aliens who is the sole survivor of her xenomorph-infested colony that Ripley takes under her wing. But everybody forgets the character that came before her. Jonesy, the mouser cat from the Nostromo. Do you know how many times Ripley went back for that cat, despite being stalked by a xenomorph, and with the Nostromo about to explode? Not once, not twice, 3 goddamn times! For a cat! Now, don't get me wrong, I love my cats, but look at this thing! That's selfless. So when Ripley makes decisions in these movies, she does so with the survival of others in mind. Even her deep-seated fear-hate for the xenomorphs later on is based on her want to protect the human race. Once you strip away that one scene from the first movie, what you're left with is a selfless character with ambiguous beliefs. To put her into perspective, consider this. The world of The Walking Dead is too cynical for Ellen Ripley to live in. Let that sink in. So what have we learned about this alignment from these two characters? Well, firstly is that they're both selfless, and unquestionably so. They both think of the needs of others and seek to protect them from the dangers of their respective worlds. Second, though both have qualities to their personalities or activities that might be construed as principles, they do not pursue these activities for their own sake. Tyrion does not repay his debts because he's a Lannister, but because he wants to show gratitude, or in some cases, save face, while Ripley does not want to kill xenomorphs because they're xenomorphs, she wants to save humanity from having to face them. The neutral nature of this alignment means that these characters have vague beliefs, or beliefs that are limited in scope, as opposed to principled characters who follow a set of beliefs unquestionably, or unprincipled characters who scoff at the idea of beliefs and causes. Neutral characters have better things to do. Neutral good characters will do what they believe is right, but since they're not sure what right is, they'll just fall back on protecting those around them and doing what they do every day, or at least helping those who deserve it. The middle column of the chart can be a nebulous one, but it can give perspective. Next time, let's take a look and see how the other side lives. So come back next time to see what it means to be neutral evil.